If you're interested in getting a SimpliSafe system for your house, note that I have a discount code down below in the video description to get 40% off the system, and you get a free indoor camera using my referral link down below. Now, these are the two main pieces of the system, and it's the base station, which is like the brains of the system, as well as the siren, and then you have the keypad, which is also critical for the system to work. But let's go through the general setup and features that they offer. Hey everyone, this is Nate, and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, today we're going to unbox and set up the SimpliSafe home alarm system. Now, this is not a sponsored video, but I did get this for free, or actually included, and that was because of my Verizon home internet. So I do pay for the Verizon home internet, and one of the package deals they had as a promo was you get a free SimpliSafe alarm system, and of course like a free trial to get you to try it out and see. So I took them up on that offer for sure, and I have this now set here. Now, it's funny because on the receipt that they gave you, it says that it's an 8-piece kit, but there's actually 9 pieces here if you know how to count. So that's kind of interesting. I think they're actually not counting the yard sign as part of the kit. So what it does come with is that yard sign, the big base station, wireless keypad, key fob, and 2 entry sensors here to detect a door or a window sensor. It comes with a motion sensor, and then a 1080p HD camera, and a water sensor. So those are the sensors that came with this kit. You can obviously get more of them, either of the same if you have more doors or more water sources you want to look at, or other products, they have those as well. But this is what I have in this, and so let me unbox it and show you how you set up for the first time on the app in SimpliSafe and what it can do. Alright, so included in the box is this big piece of paper, which is a big waste in my opinion, but it says let's get started, and it tells you to download the app, and then you log in with your SimpliSafe account, which if you're new like me, you don't have one, so you have to create it, and then it says follow the instructions on the app to complete it. So that's what this huge piece of paper provides. It does have this other piece of paper that has some other information, like a full booklet of info, as well as the yard sign piece that goes with the stakes there. And I think it has maybe some stickers in here too. Yep. Alright, so it also has some stickers that you can put on for a window, or glass on a door or whatnot to put in there. Okay, so to their credit, this instruction book, it does start off telling you, hey, just use the app, but it says if you don't have a smartphone or you're not a smartphone user app, you can use this pamphlet instead to do the setup manually, and that's with basically assuming you don't have a smartphone or don't want to use a smartphone for this kit. So it does go through, and it is color here, and it tells you how to set up the different sensors, where you want to put them, how they work best, and then how you add them and set them up with your system. So that is the manual way to do it. I do have a tablet here, so I'm going to use the tablet to actually set mine up. So first step here is to go in and actually download the SimpliSafe app. Alright, so here I am in the SimpliSafe home security app. So I'm downloading that now, and then I just created an account actually online, so I have that set up to go, so I can log into this app as soon as it installs and loads. Alright, so here you can see I don't have anything set up just yet, so I'm going to say, hey, my system arrived, and now it says it needs Bluetooth access, so I'm going to give it access to do that. Alright, and now I'm going to take my base station out here and pull the tab like it tells me to do. Alright, so here is the tab. I'm going to pull this out. Alright, let's go to the next. Now plug it in. Now it obviously wants me to plug it in the center of the house, and the reason you want to do that is this is what picks up the signal from your different sensors. So you obviously want it to be able to pick up your sensors no matter where you place them. So if you place this at the far corner of a house, it might not pick up a sensor that is on the opposite corner. But for this demonstration here, I'm going to just plug it in right here, and we'll do the setup process and not care that it's not in the center of my house. Alright, there we go. It's all plugged in.
Welcome to SimpliSafe.
Alright, so I hit the next, and now we'll see if it locates it with the Bluetooth to pick it up. Okay, so it looks like it is connected and works. So now it wants to find a Wi-Fi network. It obviously needs the internet to work. So this is cloud-based, and so you do need it to be able to hook up to your internet so that it can function.
Connected to Wi-Fi.
Alright, there we go. That was pretty easy. Alright, so now the base station is ready. So now I need to go through this and continue the setup.
New PIN confirmed.
Alright, now it's telling me that there's an update. That's fairly typical for electronics nowadays. You get them set up, and they need to update the device. Alright, so the app told me it needed an update, and I pressed the button on the app that said update, and the app appeared to really not do anything. It actually crashed one of the times, and it said it'd take less than 10 minutes. I was getting pretty close to the 10-minute mark, and I was getting a bit impatient. In the app, it actually had a message for me that said, hey, you need to update, check your keypad. The problem was I haven't set up my keypad yet, so I was getting ready to do that, to just try to manually set up the keypad here, but then the lights on the bottom here started turning yellow and flashing around. So that must mean that it got the update finally, and it's rebooting here. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes to let it do its thing and see what's happening. Alright, so here it tells you the instructions of what to do. So it says first you'll need to pair your devices with your base station, and then you'll need to mount the device. Most of these use the double-sided sticky tape or foam adhesion that just sticks on, but you can also attach it with screws. Most of these do include screws there, and then you name it, and you set up your app so that they're laid out in an order that is logical to you. So we'll go here and start to do that process here. So first thing I think is probably this keypad is probably the most important thing to do. So I'm going to click keypad here, and now it just says pull out it's kind of hard to pull these out actually, this tab, and then I press the panic button for 2 seconds. That sounds fun. And then it says I don't have to do anything else on the keypad. So
Keypad added.
It tells me that it was searching for it and then connected to it, so that obviously worked fairly quickly here. Alright, so I'm just picking a name. It looks like there's a lot of preset ones. You can also do a custom name and call it whatever you want. But I'm just going to call it the main keypad because it's my only keypad. Alright, so that is done. That's pretty easy. The next one I'm kind of most interested in is the camera itself. This one is 1080p, so that's technically HD. I have lots of actual cameras in my house right now that range from 720p to 4K resolution. So this one is nothing to brag home about from a quality standpoint of resolution, but maybe this is all I need here for monitoring for sure. And let's see what it has here. So it has a nice long USB power cable here. It is kind of nice that it's flat because then it's easier to hide behind even pictures or desk or whatnot. So let's plug this guy in. Let me type in, let's find the camera here. Indoor camera. What I will say is it does have a metal base, which is nice. The form factor is kind of on the big side compared to what some could be. So that part's a little bit surprising. There, okay, there we go. The base definitely you want to slide off to get to this USB port because you can't get to, otherwise I was certainly confused there for a second. So now I can plug that in actually. That solves my problem. Alright, so now I get this light coming on here. So I want it to wait until it flashes white. So give it a second there to be in setup mode.
Your camera is ready for setup. Follow the instructions in the SimpliSafe app to get started.
Alright, perfect. Okay, so now you have a QR code. This seems to be pretty typical. So I need to be about 1 foot away from it. There we go.
Now attempting to connect to Wi-Fi.
Alright, and I had to type in my Wi-Fi name again and password, which I thought was a little bit annoying since I've already typed it in once to set up the unit to start with. But maybe it encrypts that or protects it somehow so that you have to type it in again for it to send this information to the camera for the camera to connect to the Wi-Fi. Most of these other devices are not Wi-Fi, just the base is, so they don't need that, I guess. But alright, there we go. So it's connected to me here. And now it can see me. Alright, so it does work. Alright, so that guy's installed. Alright, let's do a motion sensor. Okay, so the motion sensor, you can see it comes with 2 screws that you could install if you wanted to, or it comes pre-installed with the double-sided sticky tape that these basically look like those 3M command strips, and they do give you a few extra ones here in the bag with the stickers. So that's something that, you know, if you mess it up or you need to get a new one, then you can put those on. But obviously you want to make sure that your wall is clean before you try to clean and dry before you were to press this on. Alright, so let me click here for motion sensor. Alright, so pull out the battery tab like always and press and release this top button here.
Motion sensor added.
There we go, that was added. And now it's going to tell you how to set this up so that it works the best. It's going to, if you do a corner, or you can pick up a shelf, it tells you what orientation to place it. And then here it's going to ask you for things about a cat or a dog or some other type of pet, that it will change the sensitivity for that to not pick up a small dog, but it will pick up a human, for example. The other thing that you can see it tells you is don't put it pointed at electronics, air conditioners, windows, heaters, and that's because any source of heat can mess up a PIR sensor and trip it off, because that's one of the things it looks for is that heat signature. So it's telling you not to point it at those kind of things. And then it tells you that, you know, it's a 30 feet range and it can do 90 degrees left and right, and then 45-degree angle down. And that's why you want to have the button pointed up, because it's going to be looking kind of down, and that's why you want to mount these higher typically. Alright, so now we'll just name this device here. And there we go, that one is set up. So now I obviously have a lot more of these sensors. They all do very much the same thing as far as setting them up and pairing them. And then so I can click done installing for now. You can always add more.
Alarm off.
Okay, so it's telling me it's off, that's good. Says I have it all set up there. I can go through here and it's going to tell me how I can set it up. So this tells you what happens if the alarm were to go off. Now, when you first set up a system, it gives you 3 days of practice mode. So even if you signed up for a professionally monitored one, it's going to give you 3 days, and it will not call the help, emergency services during those first 3 days, even if you set it off. And so that's something to know, that it's not actually professionally monitored until 3 days in. So what it will do, though, if it does get triggered, it's going to give a 30-second countdown, and during that time your app will be going off saying that the alarm is triggered. But you can go there and disarm it yourself, either with the app or with like a keypad or a key fob, something like that. And then what happens is the agent will review the information, and if you have the camera there, it would review the footage. Obviously, if they can tell that something bad is going on and someone is intruding, then they will immediately contact the authorities to dispatch them. And they also will try to reach the primary contact. But again, if that person's not able to be contacted, they just bypass it and go straight to the authorities for you. If they do get a hold of the primary contact, then there's a safe word that you set up, and you tell them what the safe word is. That way they know that you are a verified person that is disarming the alarm. All right, and then once they do dispatch the emergency services, any secondary contacts you have listed there, they will notify those. Let's say it's your siblings or your neighbors or your grandparents, whoever that you have listed there as a secondary contact, and it makes them aware that authorities were called. They don't have the option of canceling that call. They're just basically informed about it. So I'm all set up and ready, and it shows you here that this is a 72-hour practice period where no emergency services will be contacted. So let me just go to the dashboard here, and we'll see what it looks like here when it is all set up. So now I was ready to add a entry sensor, for a door, and it took me a little bit actually to figure it out. No, I didn't try to read any instructions. I was just poking around with it, and I didn't see a clear way, but I did find it eventually, and that's under My System, and then Device Settings, and then there is a Add Device. So that was a little bit weird to me, but there I am. So now I have this. Now I can do entry. All right. So let me take out the entry sensor. Now again, this one's the same way. It's got screws that you can use. So this one will be 2 screws per each side. So there's 2 sides. One side just has a magnet in it, and the other side has the sensor and the battery in it that detects that magnet being close to it. When the magnet pulls away, that tells the sensor that the door is open. Right, so we have that open, and now we got that blue flashing light. Press the button.
Entry sensor added.
Okay, so that was easy. Now it's saying that it needs to be less than 2 inches apart when it's closed, and if it's wider than that, then it won't detect it that it's actually a closed object. And you can see that it's working. Actually, this little blue light flashes, so if I pull it away, you'll see the blue light flash, and when you close it, you'll see that it flashes again. That tells me that it detected that it's closed. So that's something you can check as you install it to make sure that it is detecting that open and close thing in there. Alright, we'll name the device. Alright, so I went in here to the alerts and notifications, and I went to the push notifications, and by default it only had the alarm triggered as being on, but I went ahead and did general activity. So my hope here is that with the door opens. Alright, so let's just test this out here. We can press the away.
Please exit now.
And now it's giving me 60 seconds from when I press this away that it needs to wait before it actually activates any of these sensors here. So this door open sensor, I can open and close it. Alright, so that's interesting, is the keypad has the countdown, and when I open the door and close the door, it actually resets that that timer. At least it did it twice. It looks like the third time it actually did not reset that clock for when it detects the motion or other objects there. But it tries to give you a 60-second timer when you arm it, so that it doesn't obviously pick you up when you're leaving the house. That would not benefit you at all.
SimpliSafe on. Away.
Alright, so it's away. I have motion sensor and a camera pointing at me. So if I move, I think it should go off. And let's just see what it does here. Alright, so there's a blue light flashing at me, for sure. Don't notice anything just yet.
Alarm off.
Alright, so what it shows here is that I armed the keypad, and then it did detect that living room motion sensor, and it has a recording with it. Yeah, so it looks like it actually detected me right away with the camera. So that camera was at least more sensitive than the motion sensor. Now, to be fair to the motion sensor, it is down low and it really needs to be higher probably. But the camera basically instantly picked me up, and that beeping noise was it counting down to the entry delay. So it had the 30 seconds going. So if I would have left it going, it would have tripped the alarm and gone off. Okay, so let's try a situation where I'm come home and I want to disarm the system with my keypad, which is inside.
Please exit now.
So I'm going to go ahead and arm it. And I have the camera pointed away from me because last time it picked me up too easily and I'm not able to move. So I want to be able to open up this entry sensor as I'm coming into the house. It's going to have a delay from when it detects that until when it actually will set the alarm off. I'm going to go ahead and let it set itself off.
SimpliSafe on. Away.
Alright, so it's away. I can see there it's away here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the entry door. And now you can hear this beeping. So that's telling me that I need to enter my PIN. Now, I'm not going to enter the PIN. We'll just kind of see what it does here in a second.
Alarm off.
Okay, so quite a piercing noise there. And then you can see my phone is going off over there. This is getting off. I can hit investigate. And it's going to let me go in here. It's going to open up the app. And then I can go in there and see what happened. And it's going to show me the video now. Obviously the video I have pointed away from me. But it's showing what was happening when the alarm was going off. Okay, so that was what it does when it goes off, and I was very quickly able to type in the PIN and it would turn it off. What it does do though is it shows the red light on your base station. That tells you something happened recently when you came home, and it has a history there of what happened. Alright, so here, because I set the alarm off on purpose, you can see the red light, and then you can also see on the keypad there is a little alarm bell. If I click to the right where it shows me that, it tells me, hey, there was a recent alarm. It tells me when it happened. It tells me what happened and then how it was canceled. So that's kind of a nice feature, and I want to dismiss that to make that go away. So I can do that right there on the keypad, and then you'll see the light turns back off, so that I know there's nothing wrong with the system anymore. So, alright, the keypad unit itself is not a touchscreen up here, but the sides and the top and bottom of it actually toggle and does let you pick things. So you can actually go here to settings and devices and open it up, and then you can add a device. So it will actually let you go through here and add devices, as well as you can go to your sensors and you can click into them and you can rename it. You can also tell it if those devices should be used for a home mode or a away mode. You know, there's two I guess typical settings for your home alarm, and one is where every sensor is being used, and that's when you're away. So you want any motion, any doors open to set off the alarm. The second one is a home feature, which typically you would turn off all the inside motion sensors, and you would just have all of the entry sensors be armed. But you might have a case where you say, well, no, in my home I want to have, you know, the basement motion also to be active, or I want the first floor to be active because all the bedrooms are upstairs and everyone knows don't go downstairs at night because it sets off the alarm. However you want to set it up, you can do that with this system, and you can do that all in this keypad if you do not want to use the app. But obviously, to me, the app is much easier to use because you don't have to go through this menu with this kind of funky up, down, left, right clicking feature. And like right now, I don't even know how I go back really right now. Alright, there we go. But I can go in here and I can click add a device, and then you have to pick what type of device is it. Is it a lock, another device? But it does walk you through how to do that in here, and this pamphlet does give you the instructions for each device type of how you set it up with the keypad. So that is an option for those that want it. That's a quick overview. If you are interested in getting it, obviously use the referral link down below. That's the best deal you can get, the 40% off and a free camera on top of whatever system that you do get, which might include a camera as well. So check it out. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. I will try to answer them as well. So thank you and take care.